Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. ZazzRadio.com presents How You Doing? It's a New York thing, talk radio show. You never know what to expect from week to week. Created, produced, and hosted by yours truly, City of Yonkers' own, DJ Lenny Santawasso. My special guest today, and Yonkers City Councilman from the 4th District, John Rubbo. My brother.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, man, for the interview.
Of course.
What we're going to do is we're going to really give people a real good idea of this brewery, this beautiful brewery. The people that don't know about it, they need to know. And we're going to let them know, and we want them to have a really good understanding by the time the brewery's, the interview is finished. So I think that's really my focus because the whole process is really, truly amazing, to me. And so we'll talk about that. I mean, how did this happen for you?
Started by me and my partner making wine with our grandfathers. We were, two Italian-American guys growing up in Yonkers. And every September, we'd go and get the grapes with them, and they were getting older, so we would lift those grapes and put them into the crusher, and that's just what sparked our interest. But then, as we got into our 20s, we're drinking so much more beer than we were wine, and we decided to experiment. So with some good old-fashioned Yonkers hose water, we filled the buckets in the backyard, and we tried to make beer. And that was how we were introduced to beer.
How long ago was that?
So that was in 2010. So in 2010, we first made our beer. We experimented a little bit, and every time we made the beer, it was progressively worse. So we said, all right, we think there's an opportunity. Let's start we wanted to start a brewery, wanted to build a business, but we needed to do so with a brewer. And so we sought out, we found a brewer, we told them our passion of what we wanted, and here we are today.
And it amazes me because I guess, how old are you?
36.
You're 36.
Yeah.
And you started this 10 years ago, right?
Right.
So actually close to 10 years, you said 2010.
Almost, yeah.
So really 9 years.
Yep.
And you're a young guy, you're a young entrepreneur, just like so many others out there.
Right.
And you're driven, you have a passion for something, and it's like, here you are. How cool is that?
Yeah, it was. I always wanted to be in business. It was just something that I always wanted to do. And even as a kid, in the summers, we would set up a lemonade stand. But in front of the house. But we wouldn't just set up a table. We would set up a tent over the table.
Oh.
And we'd be selling all sorts of stuff out of there. We'd sell don't tell my brother, but we would sell all of his toys. So anytime we were upset with Joe, we'd just sell his toys along with lemonade.
Too funny.
But yeah, it was just something that was always a passion. I always wanted to do something in business. My grandfather was in business. My father was in business, and we have family members who have their own businesses, successful businesses, and you see the excitement and passion that is driven from that.
So it's part of genetics to
I guess
basically
so,
be in
yeah.
the business, to be a part of this. Now, speaking of which, your mother and father are involved in this as well.
Right.
And
the entire family from day one has always been involved.
Yeah.
Whether they're helping us with marketing, or they're helping us build out the kitchen or tile the bathroom. Everyone is here. This is a family business. It really is.
I think that's what's awesome. There's something about tradition, and especially with us Italians. There's always something about tradition. And to me, to start a business and for it to be a real, family business and have mom and dad and your sister Jackie as well,
right,
and your brother Joe,
right,
it's all all hands on deck with
right,
it.
right,
so that's pretty cool. And I think that's something to really throw out there as well, to let people know that, there are a lot of family businesses out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the dream, that American dream is still alive.
Right.
Which is so imperative people to know, because you have so many people out there dreaming, and you could still dream, and you could basically get anything you want. You just have to work hard, and have good credit,
Right.
which is imperative,
Right.
But that's really awesome. I mean, talk about the brewery itself. What you have to offer all that you have to offer. I mean, drinking a Ray's IPA, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
I love the Honey Blonde, which is one of my favorite, which is actually in cans as well.
Right.
All over the country, all over the United States?
No, we just focus right here in New York State. We're a New York State brewery. We're right here in New York State.
Okay.
The Honey Blonde was a spring seasonal.
Okay.
A fall seasonal that we put out. So now we're going on to our Buena Vista Brown, nice rich brown ale. Mm-hmm. But we're located right down on the Yonkers waterfront at 92 Main Street, next to the Chase Bank. And we have 4,800 square feet here. We have a big space. So we've had weddings here, we've had christenings, we've had first birthdays.
Yeah.
We did our 80s themed first birthday.
Yeah, we have to mention John. That. Yeah, that was awesome. 80s theme, first birthday. John was Run DMC, of course, and I was the Italian Stallion, and it was awesome. It was for Little John's birthday, 80s theme, and of course, shout out as always to your beautiful wife Dawn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Dama Ventures, his other son, which is beautiful people, of course. Such a cool kid, really is. And I love those Dama Ventures, that Dawn always mentions.
Oh yeah.
On Facebook, you see on social media, and Little John. So it's two boys, no girls, just yet. Not yet. Now also, John, like I said, is a Yonkers City Councilman of the 4th District, which is tremendous priorities there.
I like to say we have the best district.
Yeah, I would say so.
We have McLean Avenue, we have Empire City, we have Cross County Shopping Center. So it's a really great mix of people in the 4th District. It's really cool.
And I mean, we have 225,000 people in the city of Yonkers.
We're inching up on it.
And so you have a decent size platform on your end to take care of. And you know what? I haven't heard any complaints yet. I have to tell you, he's a good man. He does the right thing by all his constituents.
Thank you.
And that is imperative. Very, very important. Cheers, of course. We have.
But it's those groups that put on fundraisers, especially here in Yonkers, that they help so many people. So that's why even for us here at the brewery, we're always trying to help. Tomorrow we have a great group coming in.
Footbridge family,
Right, so I know you're going to mention that.
Yes.
And it's just important to be able to support people who are in need. And you never know when you're going to be in need. And it's important to have these organizations out there. And anything we could do to be a part of that it's part of our mission to be able to give back to the community.
But you know what I think it is too? It's part of our upbringing.
Right.
It's part of our heart.
Right.
It's what's within the heart.
Right.
It's what we are.
Right.
It's our fabric.
Yeah.
When somebody sips your beer, this is your beer.
Right.
This is your product. This is your blood, sweat, and tears. You know what? When somebody sips that, that's a product of you and your family. Right. And to me, there's nothing better than that. And when they eat your amazing food, we're going to talk about that because we're going to actually do a little tour about that. The gastropub style food.
Yep.
And fried oysters. It's not just hamburgers, cheeseburgers, whatever you have. You have a very diverse menu, and we're going to definitely go behind the bar.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the IPAs. We're going to talk about some, the beers that actually are in can in New York State, and that you had just a meeting before with with some awesome people as well. So there's the sky's the limit for you, is what I'm saying. At a young age, all that you have accomplished thus far, is awesome. It's great. It really is, man.
Thanks.
And you have so much
I have
to
a lot of
thankful
support.
for.
Without the support, it's not possible. You have to have really good people around you, and I'm fortunate to have a great wife who's extremely supportive, and my kids who are understanding that Dad's going to work, and of course my entire immediate family who's just always there to help. So today we needed someone to ride up to our warehouse, which is 2 hours away.
Wow.
My uncle said, what, I'm off today. I'll take a ride up. So that's the type of support that we have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? Talk about just get into this keg tree that we have outside, which Greg Mack from BonowskiCorp.com, ZazzRadio.com's own digital media director and partner. We're going to show you guys. We're going to go outside actually and show this keg tree lighting. It's this keg tree is 63 kegs.
Right.
And each keg is what, 35 pounds?
Yeah, about that. Yep.
So we have close to 1 ton, which is 2,000 pounds, outside.
Yeah.
And this is cool. I mean, how'd you come up with the concept? That's cool.
Yeah,
it really is.
So we saw a brewery elsewhere that was stacking barrels and doing something similar. So we thought that we'd make our own right here.
Mm-hmm.
So last year was our first year. We built a platform and stacked them up. It went up a little quicker this year, but my brother and our good friend Nick Celio helped us put it up. And it's just a really cool and little attraction for the downtown.
Oh, awesome. Shout out to Joe Rubbo, who was here, and Nick Celio, good stuff, brother, who was actually in the band, what is it?
Dutch Prime.
Dutch Prime. I'm not supposed to forget, but with LJ Canora. What's up, LJ? Shout out to you guys. Tell us about, about Nick Califano, about how you guys work so good together, being partners, from being friends. You know how it is. Normally, when you're friends and going into business, it's kind of hard. So, but you guys have such a great relationship as business partners as well, which I think is very important too, because people are always a little hesitant not to get involved in their, business with their friends. So to know that it's actually successful. And how long you've been here?
So we've been here almost going on 4 years.
4 years,
yeah,
okay.
January 2019 will be year 4. And it's just like working with family, right?
Yeah.
So when you work with family, you have to be able to put up with the good and the bad, and you have to be able to not be so stubborn, which I have to work at. But you just always try to. These are the people that you're surrounded with. They're the ones who are going to go to war with you, right? So, and that's the kind of relationship that we have with everyone, between Nick and my parents and my brother and sister. And you're not going to always agree, but you try to find a middle ground and you get things done. And at the end of the day, it's just you got to get things done.
Well, that's important. You have to make sure that you get things done.
Yeah.
But talk about your clientele, because I think that's an important thing, because I think a lot of people actually get intimidated by a brewery. It's it's like you said, 40. How many? 4,000 what?
4,000 square feet.
4,000 square feet. You're intimidated. When you come in, you see everybody. You see, like I said, the older generation.
Right.
You see,
I couldn't even tell you what our target demographic is because we have young people in their 20s who are into beer. We have people who enjoy, a nice cocktail, and they'll come in and have a Manhattan. We had when we first opened, we had a couple come in. They were in their 70s, and the woman turned to her husband and said, "I want to have my 72nd birthday here." And so we had a 72nd birthday here for them.
That's awesome.
We have people that come up from New York City. We have, black and white and brown and male and female and absolutely everything in between. And we're welcoming to everyone. We are very open, and welcoming place.
Well, you know what? That just goes to show what Yonkers is all about.
It's exactly
the diversity of our city is absolutely amazing. We have a little bit of everything, and our communities and our neighborhoods are the same exact,
Right.
And it replicates that. Let's take a tour. Let's take a tour about the brewery. Let's go from outside the keg tree, Mr. Greg Mack, and we're going to come in and let's talk about the food. Let's see what you have on the menu. Let's see exactly IPAs.
Yep.
Whatever. Take us on a tour.
Sure.
I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm psyched. This is what we've been waiting for. This is cool stuff. So tell us about this. And
so my brother and Nick helped us build this last year. It's 63 kegs, almost 20 feet tall, and it's just something that's different. That's what we like to do here at the Yonkers Brewing Company. We go big or go home.
There we go.
So, Joe wanted to wrap it with the lights a little differently this year, and we did. So here we are. We've got our annual keg tree.
How cool is this? Now this is the second annual, right?
Yeah,
second annual. Yeah,
absolutely.
So second annual. So wow. So the first one was a little smaller, And now we got a little larger. All right, so let's go inside and let's get the tour, the grand tour of Yonkers Brewing Company. And we're gonna, like you said, 92 Main Street, Yonkers, New York, 10701. There we go. Open for our guest of honor.
Thank you.
Go.
Yeah, so this is our Yonkers Brewing Company. It's always my favorite time of year down here too, because we have another 20-foot tree here inside the brewery. We have a big wreath, and it's just a homey feeling, you know, especially this time of year with all the decorations. So we fit 20 people behind around the bar. We can seat up to 160 people, and that's why it's just a great space for events too.
How about the pictures? Talk about these pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
old school pictures.
This is all Yonkers. All of the old black and white photos on the wall are part of Yonkers history. So here we have the original sugar factory on the waterfront. We have what's now the Polish, or the Castle Royale, which was the Polish Community Center, and even before that was an Italian-American citizens group. We have one of the old and original marathon runnings on the wall. We have a picture of the original Yonkers Brewing Company. We even have the first golf course in America was right here in Yonkers.
Oh, wow.
It was St. Andrews, and it was located just in the North Broadway area. So we have a photo of that.
St. Andrews. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And the marathon, now we have a marathon every year. Correct?
Right. We have the second oldest marathon in the United States, next to Boston.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to bring you behind the bar. We'll see if Lenny could pour a beer.
Oh.
All right, so this one's your Ray's IPA. This is the
Okay.
one that you really liked. So, can you? All right.
So
what you want to do is you want to open it a little bit, just let a little bit of head pop out before you put it into the glass,
okay, so
and then put the glass under. There you go. All right, not bad.
got a little head of, all right. Pretty cool.
Right. So everything that's here, except for our hard cider, has been brewed here. And these are really all the creations of our new brewmaster, Ray. So Ray Gerard, he's exactly what the city's been trying to attract, right? Generation Yonkers, bringing the Brooklynite to Yonkers, and that's what Ray did. Ray's originally from Massachusetts. He's been in New York for about 15 years. He was living in Brooklyn, and him and his wife came up, and they were looking around, and they found a great home in Ludlow. So they're right in the Ludlow section. They have a beautiful old house, and you know, it's what was taking Ray an hour and a half to get to work. Now he can ride his bike here.
Cool.
So he's really a great part of what we're doing here at Yonkers Brewing Company. And when he started in April, we said, all right, Ray, we have some ingredients in the back. Before we get anything else, you know, just brew with what we have. And he made Ray's IPA, and
That's where it comes
awesome.
from. Yeah, I like
so.
it.
Ray's IPA, we're going to be launching in cans in January. It has an awesome can. That's our 914 lager. That's our flagship.
This is the flagship, 914.
So this one is a gold medal winner in the U.S. Beer Open. We won another medal for the Great International Beer, Cider, and Sake competition with this beer. So, yeah, we're really excited with the beers that we're doing here.
So you have, how many? You have your stout?
Right. So we have, right now we have a milk stout on. We always try to have a nitro stout.
Okay.
So people ask, well, what's a nitro stout? It's just like a Guinness. Okay. This is a milk stout. It's a little bit of a different style. It's a light beer. We have the Doc's Hard Cider, which is made up in Warwick, New York, and people love that cider. And if you're not a beer drinker per se, but you want something that's other than alcohol or liquor, then the cider's a great alternative.
I have to tell you, I'm not a beer drinker. Where's the vodka? Smirnoff, more Grey Goose, Tito's. And I have to tell you, my personal favorite is the Honey Blonde. But my second favorite now is this Ray's IPA because this is good stuff. It really is. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's refreshing.
Right.
I think that's important to know that it's refreshing. Yeah, it's, it's not too overbearing.
Right.
And I think what's good too is like a wine.
Right.
You would pair, foods with the beers.
Absolutely.
So that really works well, like with wine. So,
and you could do. Actually, I like to say you could do so much more with beer pairing than you can with wine because there are so many more complex and diverse flavors and aromas in beer than there are wine. So I might be partial to that. But.
But talk about the food.
Talk
about. You have fried oysters.
Right. So we do a deviled egg with a fried oyster on top with a little aioli, which are killer. Probably our best moving appetizer is our fried Brussels sprouts, but they're just flash fried. They come out. We throw a little bacon, Parmesan cheese.
The magic word is bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon. Oh, there you go.
A little bacon, Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and we mix it up. They're to die for. But really, we have a diverse menu. So we'll have wings, we have burgers, we have tacos. We get pierogies from here on Lockwood Avenue, from Mia Sarnia, the best Polish deli around.
On the right-hand side, near Reno's.
Right by
there.
Reno's.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So we have
Shout out
an
to Reno's.
awesome pierogi dish. We do steak, we do salmon, and we're going to be adding a lot of really
Steak
fun
and salmon, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know you guys did steak and salmon. And they also tell us about New York Times. New York Times voted you guys one of the best restaurants. And you guys also mentioned about your beer, how you have a tasting room.
Right. So the New York Times came in. It was funny. So on Sunday night, we're taking the place apart. We wanted to redo the floors. And that afternoon, we get an email from the writer at the New York Times that he's coming in on Tuesday. So we said, all right, we have to hustle. So we hustled, we stripped the floors, we resealed them, and got the whole place back together. And Tuesday morning, he came in like nothing was wrong. And he wrote a great article for the brewery.
Now,
yeah,
when was that?
That was around Valentine's Day in 2016, 17, excuse me.
17. So you're here 4 years.
Right.
So you know what? Let's be honest. You know what? To come from here from start and build yourself in 4 years where you are, a New York Times article, that's awesome. That's awesome stuff.
Why don't we Ray's in the back, and he is
Doing his thing?
Yeah, he brewed today. He's working on a couple recipes for the winter.
Ooh,
some nice robust porters. So we can head on the back, and I'll show you a little bit about the brewery.
So there are different types. There's an IPA, which stands for, what does it stand for?
India Pale Ale. So India Pale Ale is a beer that when people would take long voyages overseas, it was a very strong and bitter beer, so that this way it would last going overseas. Now the IPA has turned into something that's a little bit more cloudy. It's more citrusy. It's like an explosion of juice.
Oh wow!
It's just a great, somewhat easy drinking beer these days.
But it's a process as well.
Yeah, brewing beer is a science, and Ray is a scientist. He really is, because
we're gonna meet a scientist.
Yes.
Guys. Wow. Now this is like rocket scientist. I mean, to put together a beer and win awards, and and have New York Times speak about this. I mean, you must be doing something right.
Thanks.
It's only 4 years, and there are a lot of people out there.
Oh, working hard.
Working
hard.
You know what? I mean, you have a lot of competition, so you must be doing something right.
Just got to work hard.
That's it. We'll talk
You know
about
it.
what you were saying.
So he's a scientist, and you could brew a beer once and it could be great, but now you have to do it over and over and over again, and that's what Ray is so great at. He's able to go in and brew the beer every single time the same way, taste the same, and so he's creative.
Cool. So, and then you have what? So there's the IPA, the stout, and of course you have the cider.
Yep, we have our cider, and then you can get a little more creative. So porter, you're also using the ale yeast, but it's we did a pumpkin porter, so it tastes like pumpkin pie.
I was just about to say, because everything's, and the women go nuts Right. Pumpkin spice, this, that, the other thing, you know?
And it's a darker beer like a stout, but you get all this pumpkin pie aroma and flavor, and not overbearing, but it's a good beer.
Okay, awesome.
Good beer, yeah. We have our black lager. Now, we also, something fun we've been doing is, the craze now too is for sours. Now, we don't brew an overly sour, but it's just a little bit tart. And what we try to do is do them by getting inspiration from cocktails. So the one that we have on right now is called This Mule Kicks. It's a Moscow Mule inspired sour. So I want to pour you one.
Oh, wow.
Because I think you'll like this.
Cool. And look at, you know what? Look at the artwork. Who did all this artwork?
So one of the guys who works here with us, Sean, he's the artist. Sean Olson. He's a great artist. He did all the different signage.
So this is the mule. This is the kick.
Right. So it's if you smell it and taste it, it tastes like a Moscow Mule.
Now, with a wine,
right.
You know, I've been to many tastings, European tasting from growers from Italy, from France, all over the world. With wine, they always say you sip it, you don't swish it in your mouth, you incorporate the air and the oxygen,
right.
And then you drink it.
Right, and you could do the same thing
with the beer is the same thing.
Well, if you want to, if you want to get all the flavor and get a good sense of that profile, yeah. Okay. But then once you get your sense,
that's it.
And just drink the damn thing.
It's like, you know, when it hits your lips, that's it.
Right.
It's over.
Right.
So here we are. John, talk to us about this.
Yep.
And where we are, and this is awesome.
Yeah. So here we are. We're in the Yonkers Brewery. There's our brewmaster, Ray Gerard, who's brewing earlier today, so he's cleaning one of the tanks. So we have 4 fermenters. The fermenters have more of like the narrow cone at the bottom of the tanks, and then we have our bright tanks, which are the shorter, stubbier tanks here. But all of the magic happens over there in those 3 kettles where Ray brews the beer. That's our brew house. So it's a smaller system, but you know, it's the equivalent of what they would have at Anheuser-Busch or Sam Adams. It's just on a much smaller scale. Yeah. And why we chose to have such a smaller brew house was because we wanted to be able to brew a variety of beers, always have something different turning. And if you have a large system, then you're brewing a lot at one time. Mm-hmm. So here we get to brew just 12 kegs at one time. It's all innovative beer, it's all specialty stuff.
12 kegs at one time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Wow. So the process starts in the kettles. We brew the beer. That's where the hops are added. Once all of the brewing is done there, then we transfer it on over to a fermenter where we add the yeast. The yeast interacts with the sugar from the grain. It creates the alcohol. And then from there, we'll move it on over to the other tank where we carbonate it, drop it in a keg, and get it ready to be served.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was the step below this? I mean, how'd you get here? Like, I mean, you know, you started it.
Right.
Did you actually have like these barrels in your garage where you're mixing them up?
Yeah, we had, we had these glass 5-gallon carboys, you know, like a lot of people do when they're making wine or beer.
Okay.
And that's how we had started it.
All right.
But really what we do is, and a lot of what we serve outside of here at the brewery, we brew at a partner brewery, a contract brewery.
Oh, okay.
So it's all of our recipes, all of our own production.
So but it's like a co-packer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So this way we didn't invest, $4 or $5 million in the facility. We were able to invest it right here at home in Yonkers,
awesome.
Get the brew pub open, and then also be able to put other people to work at a co-packer.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, definitely.
Yeah.
So we got introduced to Ray, your brewmaster. And what are these? These are, what are they? They're cylinders? What are they made out of?
Everything is stainless steel.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what right now Ray is cleaning the tank.
Okay.
And that's the most important part of the process, really, is the cleanliness of everything. Everything needs to be completely clean from start to finish. and that's how you keep a sanitary environment.
Let's be honest, this place is immaculate. You could actually eat off the floor.
Yeah.
That's how clean this place is, you know? And I'll tell you, this amazes me. So thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
For the interview. We're just going to ask you a couple more questions. I know you got to go.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is fun. Greg Mack from BonosiCorp.com. Of course, shout out to my partner over there, Digital Media Director for ZazzRadio.com. We thank you for all your time. So we have 3 questions for John Rubbo. We're back. Yonkers Brewing Company, 92 Main Street.
92 Main Street.
Yonkers, New York, 10701.
Right on the Yonkers waterfront.
You can right in South Yonkers, right on the Yonkers waterfront. You can't miss us because we're keg tree,
Right.
20 feet keg tree right in front. You can't miss it, and it's beautiful. You know, you have X2O here.
Yeah.
You have, it's really rebuilding. You
Yeah.
know, the mayor's done a phenomenal job, and of course the whole council. Shout out to the whole entire council.
It really
great job.
The entire waterfront redevelopment started. You got to give credit to Mayor Spencer.
Yes.
Back in the day, he attracted people here when it was nothing but land, and broken down old factories. So, you know, John started it, and now we have this beautiful waterfront where they just opened 300 somewhat units on the water in June at Madeira.
Oh, it's beautiful.
RXR is getting ready to open now. They're going to start leasing, or have started to lease. So we should see another 3,000, 4,000 people on the waterfront in the next 3-4 years.
And talk about, I mean, the Riverfest.
The Riverfest is a great event.
Unbelievable,
Big does a great event.
huge. I mean, we had a huge crowd. I mean,
Yeah.
10,000, 20,000 people out there.
Right.
Pretty intense.
Yeah.
4th of July, which I was able to DJ, which was awesome on the water from the bid.
Yep.
Jaime Martinez, shout out to him and his team. Jamie McGill Spannel, shout out to Vinny Spannel. The whole, you know who our friends are. We love everyone. We're friends with everybody. Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, doesn't matter. You know
Right.
what? As long as you have a heart, we're a friend of yours. That's it. That's all that matters.
That's right.
So, what is something you always wanted to do, but haven't had a chance to do? Number 1 on John Rubbo's
My
bucket list.
I don't know. It's a tough one. There's so many different things. I've always wanted to go skydiving, but then I'm afraid of heights, so I don't know if that would work.
That's
but
great.
I think number 1 on my bucket list right now is Ireland.
Really?
Dawn and I want to go to Ireland. We've been dying to go to Ireland. I've never been, so
That's cool.
Ireland is on the bucket list.
So you've been to Italy and
Been to
Europe?
Italy, but Dawn hasn't, so I
Okay.
think that's on her bucket list.
What is something you would like everyone to know that they don't know already about you?
That they don't know already about
Don't
me.
know already about John Rubbo.
I enjoy singing.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoy singing. I was struggling with how to answer that question, but yeah, I enjoy to get up and sing every now and then. I was in every summer we would go up to the Catskills and they'd have a fun singing competition, and I'd participate. And a couple years ago I had won, and then go up and compete against.
Really? Where did this come from?
I don't know. I always
Is mom a
liked
singer?
doing it.
Is dad a singer?
No. We don't have anyone in the family that
No?
sings. No,
Come on.
But, yeah, just
But
it's fun.
The personality, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Wow, you're a singer. And
I
think,
wouldn't say I'm a singer, but
well, you try sing in the shower a tad bit, I guess, right? All right, so we're gonna get you out of here. This is the last
No, it's
question.
great. Having fun.
3 things that you can't live without. Now, hold on, I have to preface this. No Dawn Rubbo, okay? Because we know you can't live without you. Of course, no Dom Adventures, Dominic, his son.
Okay.
No Little John.
right.
No water, no oxygen. Something that's very creative that you really, truly cannot live without. Let's see.
What can I not live without?
Let's see what John's answer is.
I don't want to say cell phone. That's too easy.
Yeah, that's too.
That's too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy.
What else can I live without? You know what? I love to be able to relax and watch movies. So I can't live without that relaxation and to be able to sit and watch a movie. I need that. I need that unwinding.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You know, it's funny because Tia mentions this. You know that my friend Tia, you have to unplug because we're always, especially you, from meeting to council meeting to this to that. Especially now, December and the holiday season, crazy. But when you get home, of course, you need to unplug.
Right.
You know, whether it's whatever it is, you know. And I think that's it, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Salute, really?
Great first episode.
I mean, that was awesome. Good stuff, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And a lot to look forward to from ZazzRadio.com. You guys must check out Yonkers Brewing Company. Share the videos, share the Facebook Live. You have to come down here. You have to try the Ray's IPA. You have to taste the fried oysters. You have to check out the vibe. That's kind of something that we didn't really talk about. The bands and the
Every Friday night we have a live band at 8 p.m.
Okay.
If you know of a local band or you are a local band, send me an email at John, John, at YonkersBrewing.com. You know, we really try to drive in the local groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the vibe down here on a Friday or Saturday, and even during the week, it all depends because it's hopping. Because again, people come from New York City.
Right.
You get off the train and they're here.
Right.
You know, whether it's older, younger, you know, especially summertime, crazy. Summertime's crazy. And winter we have our, you know, definitely have our moments as well. But, you know, you're drawing that crowd, you know, which is awesome. But thanks again, brother. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Love you,
man.
Dawn. Love you, Don. Love you, Little John. And thanks to Yonkers Brewing Company for the first interview. John Rubbo, Yonkers Brewing Company, Nick Califano, thank you so much. This was fun.
Thanks.
Until next time, thanks, brother. God
Thanks,
bless.
buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg Mack, BonosCorp.com. Appreciate it, brother.